Are you ready to take your organization to the next level and become a game changer in your industry? Then look no further. Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, where we bring you the world's top business thought leaders to share their secrets to success, from leadership development to finance, marketing, self-development, human resource management, and much, much more. Our guests reveal the strategies, tactics, and mindsets that have made them so successful. So let's dive in and learn from the best in the business. Awesome, and welcome back to another great episode here once again, and thank you so much for joining us. With me today is Gustaf Hult, who has been appointed as the head of banking for a service company called Integral. Gustav, thank you so much for joining us here on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Yes. Now, Gustav specializes in the financial sector and has been in the industry since 2013 and has loved the journey of helping individuals in the financial industry. In fact, Gustav has got this saying, which I resonate with, and it is this, that he believes, and is very passionate about this, in the democratization of finances. And Gustav believes in the future where finance is more accessible, efficient, and user-friendly for everyone. And that's what he tries to do. In fact, today we're going to be talking about how he put this into action, where he is in Stockholm and with his good friends over there. Gustav, once again, thank you so much for taking time to be with us on the show here today.
Thank you.
Incredible. Now, Gustav, I know you have a long history in trying to find a way that impacts people. Before you went into finance, you were involved in something else. Would you share with our listeners today, very briefly, your journey even before you started helping companies that grows up to £20 million every single year? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, thank you. And first of all, I started in the car industry and really found passion in helping people in a good way to understand the needs that were actually basic needs of having a car. So I used to work for Audi, and I was super interested in the human nature of how decision making was done, and also relationship building and trust, of course, in that sense. So that really sparked my interest for more sort of economy-based things. I didn't think I would work for a financial service industry or in the financial services at all. But later on came to actually use this school that I went to, which is very sales focused, but also super interesting as a background for myself.
Incredible. And at what point did you decide to get into the financial industry?
So, very good question. So I came basically to a place in my life where I got an opportunity to become a CEO of a car sales firm, and then I decided that I didn't want to follow that. I would like to study something. I had been working then for 5 years without studying, and I felt a university degree would either happen at that point or I would be stuck in the car industry forever, basically.
Right.
So hard decision, but decided to resign and started studying economics.
Right, incredible. And at that point, you started networking with some great people, and the current CEO for the company you work with, you had few conversations with him before he invited you to work with him.
Correct. So then I spent 10 years in various roles, some technical sales, relationship management, etc., and then ended up with covering some of the world's biggest fintechs from a banking perspective. And this really allowed us to build an understanding of how the fintech industry or financial industry works, and had an opportunity to taking in a few smaller clients And that's when I met my CEO, Nick, at Intergyro. And he had such a great vision for financial services and where it was going rather than the traditional way. And I was really thrilled about that. So, yeah.
Right. Incredible. And over the years, you've helped some tremendous companies in this industry. Would you share maybe 2 examples of businesses that you've helped with the financial help that you provide?
So basically what we've done is to create a business banking platform that understands digital needs. So where traditional banks have legacy systems that is really outdated when it comes to technology, we just built something completely new that allows digital companies to thrive, really. So a few companies and then this business banking part where we allow accounts and cards and multi-currency and payments, of course, like a traditional bank, but super accessible, and also state-of-the-art onboarding, which means that doesn't take months or weeks to be onboarded, but actually in days. And then we decided to give this away basically through a connectivity piece to our clients as well. So our clients can actually embed or issue financial services to their clients and become the bank.
Incredible. For Bill to understand this, because initially when you and I talked about this, I had no understanding of what is happening. But just for those who are joining us, you have built this incredible platform. Say for that big organization that has a massive fan base, like say in Reading, where I'm based, there's a football club called Reading, and the organization that runs that, they can plug on your system, on your platform, and they can begin to issue out financial services, or they will be issuing cards to their fan base, from which they will be able to benefit from the financial aspect of it, and also to understand the needs and what's happening in the lives of their fan base. Is that an accurate explanation of what you do?
I would say that's a perfect example of what we can do. So we can help brands leverage where traditional banks have it's been a cost for their brand or the football club in that sense.
Yeah.
They can now actually get access to the revenue stream, and from that build both engagement, because obviously your local team is super engaged in terms of their how they're playing. So they've actually used this card, and then that builds engagement. But most of all, they get a lot of data, so they get to know their fans much better than they did before. And this is very accessible. So you build it and incorporate in your website or your app, and then for that it can also be physical cards. So yeah, it's quite simple actually, but it really allows a new sort of business model for brands that actually have or gathers a crowd.
Yeah, I love that, because it lines up with what we are talking about, the decentralization of the financial industry, which means a lot of people will benefit. And at the same time, you can create this exclusivity among the fans. If say you are a Manchester United fan and you get a card which has got Manchester United on it, and when you are talking to your friends, you can pull out your card, and all those benefits of that, which is incredible. Now,
correct. And then you can even get your salary to that card. So meaning that not only do you support Manchester United by going to the games, but you actually, through having your salary, your spending, you even support them through your everyday purchases. So it's a new way of seeing how sort of brands can actually leverage financial services, and where traditional banks didn't really allow this business model at all.
I like that. And I can see how, companies like one that Bill owns, could capitalize on this, for sure. So what sort of criteria do you use, in identifying who can benefit from this arrangement, this embedded financial services, so to speak? Because I'm not so sure yet if everybody can benefit from this service.
So I would say basically anyone that is present online or has a brand that gathers a crowd. And I would say somewhere around perhaps 5,000 users is something you would need in order to get the revenue or an interesting revenue to make it worthwhile. But as long as you have that, we have also, so basically what we've done is to create an ecosystem where banks used to have a bundled way of working, and now there's a lot of digital tools that you need to have a few providers for, even 3, 4, 5, but we can do it all under one umbrella. So
Right.
if it's acquiring, meaning that you buy something online, we can help you with the transaction in the card networks, or you could use our platform for sending money abroad, super easy and user friendly. And if you need another currency, just spot the FX, change the currency into another one. And so it's very user friendly. And from that, it's hard because we do all of these things, but combined, they're actually really, really interesting new ways. And that means also that you can get your money much quicker than in the traditional ledgers.
Yeah, incredible. In your opinion, having been doing this for a while, what does the future look like for companies that gets to use your services, or for you as a company?
Also a good question. So I think now it have sort of revolutionized the payment industry. So it's a lot of payments involved with that, and cards, of course. Next step would probably be the balance sheet, meaning lending and deposits, so that the bill in this case can actually get access to a credit line if he just has his transactions going on. So it's there, and if he needs it, he just presses a button and then have access to it. So this is really moving away. And then ultimately, we don't necessarily need to have everyone in our platform. We can also support access to ERP systems or etc., which means that Bill can actually do all of this in his bookkeeping system, where banks push a lot of users to their platforms, which is really somewhat, or some of them at least, outdated. You want to do your business wherever you want to. You shouldn't be sort of obliged to use an old platform just because that's where it needs to be happening.
Yeah, incredible. Exciting times ahead for sure for people who wants to do that. Now, there will be people here, Gustav, that's likes the idea and think this could work for them. And in having helped a lot of people yourself, what sort of criteria do they need to check upon themselves to see if they are ready to engage a service like yourselves?
So from a developer point of view, it's kind of easy access. So if you have a website, it could even be done in a few weeks to be up and running with issuing accounts. But as a regulated entity, we're regulated in Sweden. We need to conduct a know your customer, similar to what a bank does. But if you can have our services, then that's it.
That is awesome. And what are sort of the financial commitment for organization to start thinking about before engaging with a service like yours?
Yeah, so if you want to incorporate financial services into your brand or platform or whatever it be, it's really a little bit depending on which product. But with this sort of let's call it white label. I don't really like white label because it's also not, because you build it into your brand, not from us really. So it would look and feel exactly like you want it. But I would say that you have an integration period. That integration period is normally somewhere around 1, 2, 3, perhaps up to 6 months, depending on the project size. And then you will be issuing accounts and cards. And it's really when you're done that we start charging a minimum. So coming back to my traditional experience, I used to work again for the Swedish bank. We had 570 price items on our transaction services side, which is super granular. We have narrowed it down to 4. So what you pay for is basically user onboarding, accounts, cards, and payments. This is of course a little bit of simplification because this is small granular, and then we cover ourselves with a minimum monthly, so no platform fees, no nothing. And after 6 months, you should actually be profit making rather than.
It will be paying for its own self-funding, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing, absolutely amazing. Well, do you support individuals here or companies that are in UK and in the US currently?
So not in the US currently. We have a large user base in the UK. Right now, we're looking at reapplying because we used to be covered from a Swedish license in the UK. And then some things happened that really pushed us away from each other, UK and Europe.
Yeah.
And now we're reapplying to get back. So I wouldn't say a committed time, but we'll be back in the UK soon.
Okay, incredible. Well, we are coming toward the end of our time together here, Gustav, but you're sharing eye-opening stuff. For me, it is a new technology, new ways forward. What is the best way for people who are being introduced to start thinking about the future, incorporating your services?
Yeah, incorporating them is really think of your clients and like where do they actually use your service, and then if you can add an element where you actually can get revenue based on that, then that's a win-win-win basically, because your clients love it, you get revenue from it, and yeah, it's and then we're cheering you on in background.
Yeah. It is certainly a win-win scenario there, because if you can generate income and serve the people, that is the sweet spot. Really. Yeah. Well, thanks again for joining us here. For those who wants to carry on learning about your company, about the service that you have, where can they connect you?
So we have a website called intergyro.com, but feel free to reach out. I hope you can post my personal details so that anyone can reach out. We take great pride in giving personal service. So feel free to reach out, and we'll see what we can do together. Hopefully some synergies.
Yes. Well, we usually put the link of your website. If you've got any specific link you would like, you can just send it to the team. They'll put it at the bottom of the recording, so that is easy accessible for everybody.
Nice.
Awesome. On a very personal level here, Gustav, how do you keep growing your business? What strategies are working for you, or maybe as a company?
Very good question. So I have referred to my traditional banking sort of quite a lot now, but it took me some while to sort of change my attitude from that, which is very process oriented and sort of a really good school, to actually go into the more fintech world, which is perfection is not everything, but sort of just for me it's more about doing trial and error. It's a super new market. I'm following it obviously very closely, and then we iterate. So we sort of do things and iterate, and the strategy really now is to be doing things like this to help people understand what can actually be the benefit for both the companies and the actual users. So that's where we are now. The strategy is to educate the people in what can actually be done, and then it's really mind-blowing when you think of it in a different context, like banking doesn't necessarily need to be done in a bank. It can actually be done where you want it to be.
Yeah, incredible. Keep educating yourself. I truly love that saying, because if you remain curious and keep learning, it is amazing the things that you always do. In fact, one of the statements you always talk about is, you encourage everybody to stay curious and embrace innovation, which, in all areas, including finance. And as long as you keep learning and keep curious and keep on wanting to know more, you will not left behind. In fact, you will become the leader that others are going to look up to and say, hey, if it is working for their organization, who knows, it could work for us as well. So absolutely love that. Final words to the listeners before we say goodbye to everybody here.
Yeah, so great to be here. And again, love to discuss this. This is something I'm passionate about. So, I mean, do whatever you want, but also we're here for you. If it might feel a little bit abstract, but it's really straight to the point. Financial services can actually generate revenue, and then everyone's happy.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Gustaf Hult here sharing about the new approach that a lot of companies here in Europe are using to generate income and also serve their fan base, at the same time generate a lot of data on how things are happening in their lives. So if you want to learn more, there's a link below this audio that you can click and you'll be taken to Gustav's personal LinkedIn address there, and also to the website to find out more. Here's what we always say on the show, if you're joining us for the first time, is, stay curious and be open to new information, because as new information comes in, you become aware of the possibility that awaits you out there. Gustav, once again, thank you so much for being generous with your knowledge and your time with our audience right here today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Incredible. Thank you. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, as we finish off here, I just want to draw your attention to our book, which is already out. Many of you have heard us talk about the 8 qualities for great leadership. You can get it from Amazon or wherever the books are sold. It's a great book, and I'm getting a lot of reviews. In fact, as many of you know, it has become an international bestseller, and we'd love for you to get a copy of that. What we did there, we brought together 8 amazing leaders when it comes to leadership, to write a chapter about what is working right now in the world of leadership and what will be working tomorrow. So you may want to have this little arsenal in your pile so that you can use it, pull it up and use it all the time. Well, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to encourage you to live well, live with passion, really know that the best is yet to come. And one final thing, I nearly forgot about this one, is our directory is there. If you want to be part of the directory, and if you have got a business and you want our audience to find where you are and what you do, just register on the directory, put your details on there. We are promoting it the entire year to make sure that we've got so many people know where we are. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, live well, live with passion, know that the best is yet to come. Gustav, thanks again for being here.
Yes, thanks.
Goodbye for now. Thank you for tuning in to Yeukai Business Show. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode and have gained valuable insight and inspiration from our amazing guest. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review to help us spread the word. Also, be sure to check out our Leadership Ultimate Success Mastermind program, which is designed to help you and leaders in our community to do great things and support each other along their leadership journey. Until next time, live well, live with passion, know that the best is truly yet to come.